Hello, Caroline Mustard here, and welcome to the first in a series of video classes, lesson plans for you so that you can follow the steps of how to create a lesson for your class. And I've also prepared that in written format for you so that you have step by step, but I hope you're going to enjoy it, and we'll look forward to your feedback. Let's get welcome to the lesson, and this lesson plan is going to concern this paper 53, and you can see that I'm going to be showing my iPad screen here so you can follow along with me, and then sort of, make these steps your own. So we're going to open the paper app, and as you do recall, if you've attended my lessons, you just tap it. If not, then I'm going to try and give you enough information so that if you haven't attended my lessons and learned the app yet, you'll be able to do so. Now you'll see here that I've already opened a file called PAUSD lessons. Okay, so now if you've never done this before, then if I tap these little three here, then this is your kind of basic home screen. And to start your own lesson, like your own folder, you go new grid. So you tap it there, and you tap untitled, type in PAUSD lessons or whatever you want to call it, and then so you tap this here, and so this would go PAUSD lessons. So that means all the lessons can go in here so you can easily find them. And then when you just go done, tap the done thing when you're done with it. And you do have to just tap this little X to get rid of the kind of annoying, but you do have to do that. Okay, so here you go. So you've got your lessons there. Now you can see at the bottom that there are 3 different icons. T for type, which we will be using sometimes, but this is so you can name your documents. This is for photographs. We're not going to use that in this lesson, but we will be using it in subsequent lessons. This is the one we're going to access, and it's this is the one for drawing and painting. And it opens up, usually it'll open up showing these 3, but if you just go to the left, then you'll see here you've got these pens and pencils, etc. We're actually not going to use these in this particular lesson, so we're going to slide backwards like this, just swipe back, and here you've got the things that we will be using, because this lesson actually at the end of this lesson, students will be using the ruler, and they'll be using the roller to create geometric shapes, and they will be using their color here, their color palette, and they'll be using their color mixer to mix colors, and they will be creating geometric patterns and filling them with colors using different color combinations. They'll be using the basic colors here and their complementary colors, and we'll just start with this. Okay, so first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to actually mix some colors, especially for this. Now you can see I've already mixed them, but that's fine. I'm going to show you how to mix them, and then you of course will have your students mix their own colors, and then they will be mixing colors for themselves in the future. And this is a pretty good way of actually teaching students about color, and so students can use color at the end of this quite efficiently. So now you see that I moved these 2 over, these 2 sliders, because what they do is they take, this is the pure color, this is the full color hue. Yeah, see, so it goes all the way up, and it goes from 1 to 360. So it could be in a circle, it could be shown in a circle, or it could be shown here. So that's This is so they can see how to find their color. And we're going to start at 0, which is probably a pretty pure red. And you'll see that when we put it at 0, it shows up here in this little color mixing bowl. And we want to get that color over and keep a copy of it. And we want to get it over and put it in here. And what I want you to do is I want you to go all the way to the bottom. Oh, like I see, I've got some nice empty ones there. So let me just start it again. So go to these empty holes here. And if you've already filled all your holes, no problem. You can just go right over top. So here I've got some nice empty holes. So I'm going to put this red into this little color bowl here. So I tap it and I keep my finger on it till it kind of pops off the screen, sticks to my finger, so I can drag it and drop it. So that's the action. That'll actually put it right in there. So now I've got a nice pure red. So now I'm going to tap this mixer again. Okay, there you go. And again, I'm going to keep these all the way over this side. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and go over and find a yellow. Now yellow, interestingly, is a little rough to find because it's a very narrow band. It's just about there, I think would be pretty good. 58 will do. Oh, close to by there, 54 I think is what I've got. So again, tap, hold, till it sticks to your finger, drag it and drop it. And then of course, finally we'll get a blue here. So you're gonna move that over here till you get a blue. I'm pretty happy with that. This is 214. Tap, hold, drag, and drop. So here I've got red, yellow, and blue as my 3 primary colors. So now the students now can use the 3 final primary colors. They can find them, locate them, create their own things, just the same as if you gave them some tubes of paint, only in this case, they've actually created their own, which is kind of cool. So what we're going to do now is we're now going to create the complementaries of these colors. And of course, you know that the complementaries will be mixing both together. And in this app, you can do that. So we're going to start by mixing red and yellow together. So to do that, we have to put red now back into the mixing bowl. So we now tap and hold the red, move it over, drop it into the mixing bowl. Okay, so now to mix it with the yellow, all you have to do is just tap the yellow. You can see a little white circle around it. And now you put your finger dead on in here and you just go clockwise and look at that. You're starting to create an orange. So when you're happy with the orange that you created, again, you tap and hold this here, tap, hold, drag and drop. And you've created an orange. And if you keep mixing this around, you should end up with yellow. Well, I didn't. So I'm just going to take the yellow and dump it in. So now I've got yellow, and I want to mix the yellow with the blue. Same thing, just tap the blue. Now move this yellow around with your finger. Just go right like this till you've got a green that satisfies you. Tap, hold, drag, drop. So there we've got another color there. And now we're going to do blue, and hopefully this will work. Yep, there. Nope, still not working well. Let's try, I'll just put the blue in. And this time I'm just going to tap the red. And around I go. And I've got some kind of purple there. I think I'll just go about there. That's nice. Tap, hold, drag, and drop. Okay. So now what do I have? I've got 3 primaries, and we've got the mixtures, so which makes the secondaries. So you've got your secondary of green there, your secondary of orange, and so you just sort of can see how they mix together there. So now we're going to be able to create some shapes that where we can actually, the students can now use these intermediately to see how they work together, how they relate together. So let's start off with complementary red and green. And we'll put red into the background. Whoa, that's pretty strong. So now we're going to tap the green. So remember how to do that. I tapped. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's do this, start off. Let's put black in the background. So I want you to just swipe to the top here, and you'll find a decent black here. Right there. In the line of blues, there's a pure black at the end. Tap, hold, drag and drop. So I'm going to start with a black background for the first part of this lesson. And now I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go back down, and I'm going to tap the red, and I'm going to tap this ruler. Now the ruler will actually create lines, and it'll create geometric shapes. So in this particular case, we're just going to stay with squares and rectangles. And you go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how you do it. You see it just pops in. And we'll mix that with a green one. So you tap the green. And this you'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Okay. So now let's do another one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And another green one. 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. And then the thing is going to be 4 connected and 1 unconnected. So you can just slide this guy down. So you give you a bit, okay, so this one can be unconnected, okay? And I made that red. All right, so now slide it back up again. Now you're going to fill these. So to do that, you're going to tap this little dude here. And you're going to fill. We'll just do straight pure color right off the bat. We can do green. We can just do it alternately. And I'll put that. Now you see, I'm going to put that all going to be green. And then I'll put that. That can be red, green, and this one can be red. Okay. Now, you've got the very first thing here. Now, let's go back here to this ruler and put some lines in. We can put some, you see how you just tap, just slide it along, makes nice straight lines. And put some right across. And maybe one with the green. Maybe we'll have one wavy line. Okay. So now that's your very first one. I'm using these complementaries, and students can now discuss it, discuss what's occurred. And you see how fast this was done. It would take you way longer if you were working with poster paint. You'd have to wait for it to dry, or if you were cutting out paper, then you have to stick it down. So you can see how easily it is and how fast you can get across this concept of 2 colors and what happens. Now, what you could also do with them is you could also say, well, now let's see what happens if we change these around. Let's, for example, put green where the red is and see if we have mostly green and what happens. So, of course, you've got to go back to your roller and you put, now the green is just covering, you see, it goes in here. All right, and we could just leave that and then maybe have the green in there and then make this green. So now you can discuss, you can now discuss this different variation of your picture and what happens when you make this variation. You could now maybe put some green lines like this and have a discussion about that and what happens when you're doing these different things. And they can actually very rapidly create different variations of this particular painting. until, you know, they feel that they've got something that they really like. And then you can tap done down here, and you've got your very first painting. And now you could do a second one, because you can do this quite rapidly. So you know how if they like to move fast, they can move fast. So you just go up here and tap the plus. So you're now in a new page and ready to go again. And this time we could take a different set of colors. We could take, perhaps put the yellow in the background. And this time what we can do is, maybe what we can do is we can play, do it slightly differently. Say, okay, so now if we're going to use yellow and we're going to use this purple here, but we don't have to use the pure colors. We can actually use any variation. So we can put the yellow into the mixing bowl, tap the mixing bowl, and get a much paler version of that yellow. Tap it like this, and then put that in the background because I think it'll be nicer. And then this time what we can do is we can make, we're going to do some purple here. So now we can take this, again, we're going to do this. We could, this time we could do triangles. So we can make some triangles here. We'll do them all in purple. And again, 5 triangles, all intersecting. But 1 triangle on its own. And now we again go back here. And this time we can use the pure yellow, but we could also put the yellow, we can open this yellow here, and we could make variations. So we could put a little bit of black in it, like this, and then we can put the purple in, put the purple on, and we can put the purple in the mixing bowl and make variations of the purple. So we're starting to see different variations here, which I think you'll agree is a very, very fast way to actually see that by adding black and white to your pure colors, your pure hue, you get a different effects all the time. There we go. And let's make this one here almost white. There. And again, you can go back and do some choice lines here. Maybe put this back in here and a nice kind of wavy line, because you're allowed to make some lines as part of this exercise. Now, if it goes straight, if it doesn't go quite straight in the way you like it, just tap this little back button. Because for my design, my painting, I want it to be pretty straight. So I'm going to go like this. There, a couple of lines. And then we'll want to go back up here. Maybe now I want to go pure white. So that would go all the way over. There'd be 0 there and 100 there. Now you'll have some pure white lines you could put in here. And I could put one in there. And maybe now just go back to the straight color. And there you have it. Yet another one. Now you can just ring the changes here. So what you could do is next part of your lesson is to say, well, what happens if we change this to a totally another color altogether? So let's save this. So we'll go done. And this time you're going to take a duplicate copy of the painting. You're going to tap these little 3 lines here, and you're going to go duplicate. That's going to give you a second copy. Now you're going to open up your toolbar by tapping this little pen there. And now you go, okay, so this time we're going to use the blue and the orange. And we'll just do the same kind of thing. We'll take the blue and make a different blue and put it in the background. Oh, and so now we'll take the orange and we'll go here. So we're going to fill our shapes now, but we're going to fill them with there's totally different variations of colors. This can be blue. It can be quite a pale blue, or even a sort of blue-gray would be rather nice. And make a nice strong orange here and put it in here. And then maybe have a paler version like this and a paler version here. You can just, they can just play around to their heart's content. See these different variations that they're doing. Put the blue back in. And this one. Now the only trouble you have here is that you've got these lines here and they're in the alternate colors. So fine, you could just erase those just very rapidly. You could erase it. There we go. Okay. And they can learn to erase, they can erase these colors and put in colors that, you know, are part of their new palette. So maybe they want to go and put nice pure orange here. The only thing, of course, is that the outlines are in the original purple, but never mind. That's not a real problem. Okay. And they can, I don't really like that. Let's just do a straight line. There we go. And there you have it. So, and then of course, if you wanted to, yet again, do some more shapes over all of them, well, then you could just put more shapes. So now you very rapidly introduce them to a totally new variation using the blue and the orange. They've learned how to do all that. And let's just review what we've done in this lesson. And of course, they can do many, many, many variations of this. So if we go done here, and we tap this little X up here, it's going to let us see what we've done so far. So here we've got 3 different lessons that we've done just in this short space of time. You can do as many. You can use circles. You can use whatever you like. But you see that you've started to create some pretty decent kind of, I call this Bauhaus, my Bauhaus lessons. You know, and if you wanted to really, you could get some really nice paintings going with this. So there you are, and there you have it. That's your very first lesson, and I've enjoyed working with you, and I hope you enjoy it. Bye-bye.